The Forgotten Children. In a remote village named Eldermire, nestled between dense forests and mist-laden hills, there existed an old stone schoolhouse, long abandoned and overgrown with ivy. The townsfolk avoided the place, speaking in hushed tones about the children who once attended and the mysterious fire that had consumed the building one fateful night, leaving behind only whispers of what had happened. Years passed, but the story remained etched in the memories of the villagers. Some claimed to have seen shadows flitting through the broken windows, while others swore they could hear faint laughter carried by the wind. Yet no one dared to explore the ruins, for it was said that the spirits of the forgotten children roamed the halls, searching for something lost. One autumn day, a curious traveler named Mark stumbled upon Eldermire. Intrigued by the local lore, he decided to investigate the schoolhouse, armed with only a flashlight and a sense of adventure. As he approached the crumbling structure, a chill ran down his spine, but he brushed it off as the cool breeze. Inside, the air was thick with dust and decay. Desks lay overturned, and the walls were marked by soot, remnants of the fire that had claimed the building. As he explored, he felt an odd sense of nostalgia, as if he were stepping back in time. Suddenly, he heard a soft giggle echoing through the halls. Mark paused, heart racing, unsure if he had truly heard it or if his mind was playing tricks on him. "Hello?" he called out, but only silence answered. He pressed on, drawn by the laughter that seemed to beckon him deeper into the building. With each step, the temperature dropped, and shadows danced at the corners of his vision. He entered what had once been the classroom, and to his astonishment, he found a dusty chalkboard still covered in faded drawings, stick figures with wide smiles, and in the center, a large sun with rays extending outward. Suddenly, the laughter returned, louder and more insistent. It was coming from behind a door at the back of the room, one that was barely hanging on its hinges. Mark pushed it open, and a rush of cold air enveloped him. The room was dark, filled with an oppressive silence, and as he stepped inside, he felt an overwhelming sense of dread. The door slammed shut behind him, plunging him into darkness. Panicking, he fumbled for his flashlight, its beam flickering to life just as he heard whispers, soft, childlike voices surrounding him, chanting in unison, "Come play with us, come play forever." Mark's heart raced as he turned to flee, but the room seemed to stretch, the walls closing in. The laughter morphed into cries, shrill and desperate, echoing in his ears. "Don't leave us. We're lonely." He stumbled backward, the flashlight beam catching glimpses of pale, translucent figures, children with hollow eyes, their faces twisted in anguish. They reached out toward him, their fingers grasping at the air, longing for connection. "Why are you here?" Mark shouted, desperation creeping into his voice. "What do you want?" "Help us," they begged, their voices a chorus of sorrow. "We were forgotten. We need to be found." In that moment, Mark understood. The children were trapped in a limbo of their own making, bound to the schoolhouse by the tragedy that had befallen them. They wanted to be remembered, to escape the cycle of despair that held them captive. With renewed determination, Mark focused on the drawings on the chalkboard, the sun at its center. He grabbed a piece of chalk from the ground and began to draw, channeling all his energy into creating a vibrant sun, bright and warm. As he finished, the room began to glow, the darkness receding as light filled the space. The children's laughter returned, now joyful and free. They gathered around Mark, their faces beaming with gratitude. "Thank you," they cried, and one by one they faded into radiant beams of light, ascending toward the ceiling, breaking the chains that bound them to the earth. As the last child vanished, the oppressive weight in the room lifted, and Mark stood alone, the schoolhouse, now silent. The door swung open, and he staggered out into the cool night air, forever changed by the encounter. Eldermire would remember the children once more, their laughter echoing in the hearts of those who heard their story. And as for Mark, he left the village with a sense of purpose, determined to tell the tale of the forgotten children, ensuring their spirits would never again be lost to time.